Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It's Wednesday. That means we've got some wacky and weird news stories to tell you about today. We've scoured the entire internet looking for all that weird things humans and animals and sometimes the earth itself are doing. So we're going to tell you all about it. This is the first and only interactive international game show, Before Coffee, a father-daughter podcast where we look up our stories 10 to 15 minutes before we've started. We've just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to read live on stream. Let's get into today's wacky headlines. Today on Wacky and Weird Wednesday. Southern right whales. Oh, sorry, this is not the story I want to do. This one. Alien DNA may exist within humans, genetic study claims. And gone on a hike, not officially contacted without a phone number. These Nobel Prize winners who were not informed in time.
And greetings from the United States, where it's Nobel Prize week. Well, it's Nobel Prize week in, where do they hold that? Geneva? I think they have it in Geneva, right?
You tell Sweden.
Me. Anyway, Sweden, there you go. Yeah, in Stockholm, probably, right? It's Nobel Prize week, and we're going to talk about some of these Nobel Prize workers were not straight A students. Plus, a South African hospital worker has been selling placentas.
Deloitte Australia to partially refund 290,000 Australian dollars report filed with suspected AI-generated errors. This is what happens when you start relying on AI.
That's right. What intelligence we have is not artificial. We have very little intelligence, but at least it's not artificial. And our missing hitchhiker cat. Yeah, the cat came back. Missing hitchhiker cat returns to Virginia after being found in North Carolina store.
Sex, skeletons, and rituals. An inside look at Marina Abramovic's Balkan erotic epic.
That's right. And it's National Take Your Parents to Lunch Day. So I'll be sitting here waiting. And for somebody to take me to lunch. It is October 8th, 2025 on Before Coffee.
Yeah, maybe everyone can just come back from the dead and then you can take them to lunch. It's October after
My mom would never let me buy lunch. When she stayed at our house, I bought her lunch all the time. But when I was visiting her, I can buy my own lunch. I'm not poor. Okay.
I know a lot of older moms were like that, right? You trying to tell me I can't do stuff for myself. It's like, Mom, let it go.
Yeah, she's like,
let me
I
treat
get a senior
you.
discount here. You don't understand. Yeah. I get a senior discount. I said, I can still get the senior discount for you and pay for it. Anyway.
Yeah. Stubborn. So, that's what happens when you're a working mom, I suppose. You're like, I can do stuff myself. I've been doing it the last 50 years.
And I tell you what, she did eat free a lot of times at the lunch counter because we knew a lady that lived there, that worked there. Her name was Nancy, and Nancy Schabel was her name, and she adopted my parents. And she worked at the lunch counter. She let me eat free all the time. Yeah, we used to go to her house and stuff. I knew her husband really nice. Actually. I knew her husband, and I went to machine tool school with him.
Machine tool school.
Yeah, to be a machinist. No, you laugh at the word, but it was a very common word.
And then you became a radio guy instead.
It wasn't that simple. Okay. Anyway, let's do a show instead of talking about my bullshit. Wheel. All right.
We've got... almost reminds me of a song, but it's actually accurate metaphor or simile. Accurate
Damn,
metaphor.
I'd rather have reminds me of a song, man.
It was on the cusp, but it just didn't
I'm always getting metaphor, and I'm always getting the same roll. Same roll every day. It's like the old broken record.
Hey, you're the one who came up with the wheel. You can just come up with your own segment.
I also came up with the first one would have been fine. Okay, accurate metaphor. Okay,
all right, we've got my first two stories here in this.
I just say the wheel's broken, that's all.
The first one is about a study that's been released that says humans may have alien DNA, as in non-terrestrial, right? They can't find any trace of where this DNA comes from. It must come from space. We were aliens all along! We're just perusing space, destroying planets. That's what we do. Actually, on Vice. It was a joke. It's not serious. If you've ever suspected your neighbor or maybe even yourself might be part alien, a new study won't calm you down. Dr. Max Rempel, a molecular biologist with a PhD from the Institute of Gene Biology in Moscow, claims to have found strands of non-human DNA hidden inside certain families. He says it may have been inserted. Like it doesn't, like some genetic biology.
Mr. Smoking rope. Okay, go ahead.
Rempel analyzed genetic data from 581 families in the public 1,000 Genomes project. In 11 of them, he says, large chunks of DNA appeared that didn't match either parent. The anomalies, 348 variants in total, couldn't be chalked up to modern gene editing tools like CRISPR, since the subjects were born decades before the technology existed. As far as we know, the aliens have been probing us with DNA!
Nuclear radiation has been mutating people since it was invented.
DNA Resonance Research Foundation, yet to be peer-reviewed, goes several light years beyond conventional genetics. He believes that's a good point, right? It has yet to been peer-reviewed. So this is just one guy with a theory.
Just some guy guessing. He doesn't know anything. DNA science is not a science yet.
He has a PhD in gene biology. Just because he's from Russia doesn't mean he doesn't have any information about it.
Yeah.
This is his theory, right? His hypothesis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The only explanation is aliens. Go ahead, sorry.
Go several light years beyond conventional genetics. He believes that the insertions might have come from extraterrestrial intervention and could explain why some people possess enhanced traits, such as telepathy or heightened perception. Oh, great. Who has telepathy? What the hell? Wait, are there real people with telepathy out there? And they're all in Russia, I think. Humanity may be undergoing genetic transformation. He told
telepathy exists. It does exist. I'm sorry to say it does exist. I mean, there's no way it doesn't exist. But go ahead.
This is just supposed to. We're just being wacky here. We don't have to be so serious.
Okay.
To look for patterns, I'm just saying, there's no way it doesn't exist. 23andMe data from people who claim to have been abducted by aliens. Some showed traces of what he calls non-parental markers. Others did not, which he said could mean the alien edits target specific bloodlines. Oh god. The aliens are not only gene editing humans, but they're also you're special and we're specifically picked you to edit. If confirmed, it could be possibly to detect which humans carry alien DNA, he said, essentially identifying hybrids. Yeah, that's it.
He's out of his mind.
The lizard men are editing our DNA. That's
yeah.
We need to get the billionaires
tested.
Creature
from the Black Lagoon. That's right.
Yeah, I think we need to get all the billionaires tested for this alien DNA, and then we know they're aliens.
Yeah, and then send them back to the planet they came from. And if we can't find it, just send them to any planet. I think they came from Jupiter. Send them there.
Even UFO researchers think he might be getting ahead of himself. Alien abduction experiences can stem from a variety of terrestrial factors, said Nigel Watson, author of Portraits of Alien Encounters Revisited. So this is a guy who actually studies alien encounters, and he's like, whoa, he's saying that's a crazy line to draw, that they're editing DNA or actively abducting you. We need to carefully verify these accounts before drawing conclusions about DNA. Watson added that technical errors or cell culture contamination could explain the anomalies just as easily as visitors from another star system. Yeah, you spit in his DNA marker. That's why there's extra DNA that doesn't explain. You sneeze nearby. Oh, that's weird. My DNA is in here. The aliens! Rempel admits the evidence is far from airtight. Current genetic databases rely on older, less precise technology. He now is pushing for next-generation sequencing to test new samples from families who identify as abductees. We need to better data, he said, and approval takes time. In his theory, if his theory holds up, which scientifically speaking is a galaxy-sized if, it could rewrite everything we know about human evolution. Till then, it's one more entry in the long list of cosmic mysteries that makes Earth's strangest life forms look like us. Yeah, I don't think it's probably not this, but it is a fun idea. Definitely a fun idea.
He's been playing that game.
Not only are they probing us, but they're also gene editing us with those bright lights and the medical.
That's right.
With their multiple fingers.
And let me be the first one to shout out to our alien overlords. I'm here at your command.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be there was a Doctor Who episode, not about this particularly, but a similar thing, which is they were using blood control. So they got a specific blood, so let's say A-type blood. They put it in their little machine, and then they controlled all the people on Earth who had A-type blood. And that was like a huge thing, right? Oh, they're controlling us through our blood. So maybe they're going to control us through our DNA and say, oh, you humans with your DNA sequence, I don't know, kill the rest of them?
Right.
Not all your fates belong to us? I'm not sure. Your metaphor?
Do you need a... yeah, he's getting out ahead of his skis. That's a metaphor right there for him. It's aliens, obviously. The metaphor is you're going downhill skier and you're out ahead of your skis. You're going to go right there.
Thank you.
Another metaphor is the human body is actually a big transmitter. And why would it be a big transmitter and not a big receiver? I have no idea, but it is a big receiver. You have receivers in your ears. You have receivers in your eyes. You have receivers in your nose. You have receivers in your fingertips. Right. Also, you transmit sound. You transmit from your body. Transmits infrared heat. Right. Your body radiates 99.6 degrees of infrared heat every day, every minute of the day. You're always putting out other frequencies that we don't comprehend or understand.
Well, we even talked about this before. The brain. There are brain frequencies we send out.
We sit there and read. Right.
We definitely send out brain frequencies.
We can measure them with
not accurately
equipment. We just have to hook them up to the head, right? We hook them up to your head and measure them, right? But the fact that it's sent out doesn't mean that the person receiving knows what they're receiving, right? Because I've gotten waves from people. I call it vibes. Vibes are waves.
He gives me the good vibes.
What a negative motherfucker. Get me away from this guy. He's putting out negative karma. And I legitimately believe it's a real thing, and it's no reason not to believe it because everything has a frequency. Everything has a frequency. So
everyone put on your aluminum hats and protect yourself from those bad vibes.
Everything you see puts out a light frequency for one thing. So anyway, is
that your simile? Basically, yeah.
My long double simile / metaphor. Is there another story? I don't know.
Yes, there is another story. I'm just giving you sound effects because I know you need that positive reinforcement.
Thank you, Homer.
This next story is way shorter, so, hold on to your butts. Gone on a hike, is this the story? Yes, this is the story. Gone on a hike, not officially contacted, without a phone number, and these Nobel Prize winners were not informed in time, so they won a Nobel Prize. They won a Nobel Prize for going off grid and telling everyone about it. This is from Mila Thibault on Liberation. A sign that he obviously did not expect such a award, or was he simply completely indifferent to the recognition? American Fred Ramsdell, one of the 3 winners of the 25 Nobel Prize in Medicine, awarded for their discoveries related to functioning of humanitarian systems, was in Idaho backcountry when the happy news was announced. The researcher was enjoying life and was completely unreachable after going on a hike, said a press conference for biotechnological company Sonoma Biotherapeutics, which he co-founded. The 64-year-old man, who was finishing a 3-week wilderness excursion, was finally informed of his award by text message 12 hours after the rest of the world. He said he was grateful and honored by this distinction and eager to share it with his colleagues. Digital detox, alarm clock failure, and airplane mode. Fred Ramsdell isn't the only laureate to have missed the official announcement of the ultimate recognition of his work. The British daily The Guardian recalls the case of Paul Milgram and Bob Wilson, both winners of the 2020 Economics Prize. Deep asleep in their beds in California, the 2 American economists didn't answer calls from their Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences, even going so far as to unplug their phones, annoyed by the incessant ringing. Who the hell is calling me at 3 a.m.? Even though it was the bearer of the big news. It was Wilson who finally answered and subsequently rushed to ring his compatriot's intercom to wake him up. In Edinburgh, 2013, it was the neighbor of Peter Higgs, the British scientist known for his boson? For his boson? What the hell's a boson?
Higgs boson particle. This thing that started the Big Bang.
Okay. Higgs boson particle and winner of the Nobel Prize in Physics, who spoke for the Stockholm Grand Jury. As the researcher was returning from lunch without a cell phone or internet, a neighbor stopped him in the street. She congratulated me on the news and I said, "Oh, what news?" The laureate joked during his press conference on the University of Edinburgh. Some were not even contacted by jury and discovered the big news at the same time as the whole world. "I got out on the taxi and saw lots of cameras and photographers," explained Doris Lensing, who had just won the Nobel Prize for Literature. In 2007, since I lived on a fairly typical street, I thought they were filming a TV series. But it was actually for me, she continues, and that's when I heard from a journalist that I had won the Nobel Prize for Literature. Known for his media discretion, Bob Dylan remained silent for 2 long weeks after being awarded the most prestigious literary prize in 2016. This silence had provoked much disapproval from some writers, sometimes crying foul. "If you don't accept the award, you can't have it. You're just jealous because you didn't get the award. Shut the fuck up."
He accepted it. He just sent somebody else to accept it.
I'm saying other writers
Patty
saying,
Smith.
"He hasn't said thank you for 2 weeks. I don't think he deserves the award." It's like, is that part of getting the Nobel Prize? You have to, accept it within 24 hours or it goes to the next guy? That would be
I think it's something called humility.
We thought you did a
it's
really
called humility,
great thing
folks.
this year. But you didn't accept it within 24 hours, so we're taking it back.
It's called humility. It's like, well, I probably didn't deserve it. Whatever.
Thanks, guys. Whatever. After finally accepting the award, the American singer announced his absence from the prize ceremony on December 10th, the anniversary of Alfred Nobel's death, due to an imperative matter. Now, basically, the story is just the wacky ways people have completely missed the fact they've got one of the biggest prizes in the world, right? Some people, these are prizes you'll probably never get yourself, right? And they just didn't even know. They had no idea that they got it at all.
If you're doing it for the prizes, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Anyway, of course. So. That's very true.
Same with music.
That's my story.
My metaphor is life without the internet sounds like life.
Yeah, we don't have to be attached to our phones. But please be attached to your phone and watch this show every day. Anyways.
I definitely miss just looking at the paper, reading the stories in the paper, getting to the stories in the paper whenever I feel like it. I genuinely miss that. Of course, our paper was a lot smaller than most. 9-page paper to read. Okay.
Let's go to our next segue.
All right, we're going to talk about...
I still do that at the, like when I'm waiting for the dentist or whatever. I love reading the magazines. Of course, they're all in Dutch, so it's just practicing my Dutch, really.
I read all the flyers I get in the mailbox, right? Like I got one from Amazon. For some reason, Amazon sent me a 40-page book on buying Christmas presents. So like your website isn't enough. You got to waste paper, printing, Anyway,
wait, they're sending you like a catalog? What the hell is...
Yeah, the Christmas catalog, that thick. Yeah, no, and it's all full of toys. It's like, I don't even have little children anymore.
I bet you anything. All these people paid a bunch of money to Amazon to be like, I want to be in your catalog, your yearly catalog. I hope somebody buys something out of the Amazon catalog this year. Wait, for anybody who wasn't alive during that time, that's what it was, right? It was just paying a lot of money for somebody to put you on a page, and then hopefully we'll increase our profits this year during Christmas because we got the Macy's catalog or the Sears catalog or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
I think what it is that I'm in that age group which they think predates the internet, which I am, right? Which, oh my God,
you grew up
these old people don't even know what to do anymore. So, the old days it was Sears. Sears did the catalog thing. Sears would ship you a house.
Yeah,
they would ship you a house. Yeah. Yeah, so Sears, Amazon just took over what Sears used to do, and does it faster.
I mean, that's the funniest thing right now is all these internet age companies turning back to things that we thought we got rid of. TV channels, catalogs, rentals, physical media.
I'm sure it's recycled paper, but to me it's just, okay, well, why are you doing this?
Thanks for the...
Anyway, this is another story about the Nobel Prize.
You won't go cold this winter. You got all that catalog to burn.
Yeah, happy birthday to Alfred Nobel or whatever, but I don't know if it's his birthday, but it's Nobel Prizes this week. Another story about them. Did you spin?
And my segue is a haiku.
Okay, this is from yahoo.com, and it's come from, the writer is Agnes Johanna. Actually, it's not from Yahoo. It's from a website. It's called Waste, WASTFEL, Felt. Or anyway, I think that's what it is. Agnes Johanna Weisfeld. That might be her name. I think that's what her name is. Anyway, some Nobel laureates were straight A students from the get-go, but others, AFP, which is this website, I guess. The others we spoke to, say that, recounted how they cut class, got expelled, and had doubts about their future. Perhaps the most illustrious Nobel Prize winner, Albert Einstein, was once a mediocre student at Zurich Polytechnic School, now called ETH Zurich. So he went to frickin' school in Switzerland? That's crazy. I didn't know that. Anyway, after graduating, he was the only student not offered a research assistant's position, according to Swiss University's website. Swiss
I don't
University.
think it's that crazy. Switzerland's not that far away from Germany.
Yeah, no, not really. Einstein went on to win the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. Francis Arnold, easy name and I can't get it right. Francis Arnold, who won the 2018 Nobel Prize in Chemistry, also cut classes after a turbulent start to her education in the United States during the 60s and 70s. I was disrupted. I was just bored and well beyond the rest of the kids in the class were doing. And the teachers often gave me little projects decorating the classroom and things like that, she recalled in interview with AFP. Yeah, if you're way ahead of your classmates, it's boring as hell going to school. At the age of 10, she was allowed to take high school courses such as geometry, a challenge she appreciated at first, but by the time she reached her teens, she wasn't enjoying school anymore, to the point she stopped going and was expelled. I guess I wasn't interested in what they had to teach us, or if I was interested, I just learned it on my own from a textbook. So I managed to pass all my classes despite my absences. Again, I passed classes I didn't attend in high school too. I would just write it. I took a short story class, and every end of the week I'd turn in a short story, and I got a B+, and I never went to class. I think the teacher liked me. That's the only thing I had going for me. He would counsel me about not skipping class. But the thing is, I could sign myself out at noon, and I only had one class in the afternoon. It was short story, and he didn't take attendance. So I wrote a story. I got a B+ because I didn't go to class, or B or B+. They don't have the wherewithal to do anything special for the kids who really would benefit, she lamented. Overcoming challenges. David Carr, the 2021 Nobel Economics laureate, also had unconventional educational beginnings. There's almost nobody I've met in the economics PhD program that has a background like mine, where they went to a rural school. Born on a farm in Canada in the 1950s, he was enrolled at a small one-room schoolhouse where one teacher taught around 30 students at different grade levels. The way the teacher did it, she would spend time with each row, which was one of the grades. I actually paid attention to a couple of grades beyond of mine. I think that's a great way to learn. I'm done with row 2. I'm going to row 3. I'm serious. That's the only way to learn. Why am I here with all these idiots? Is kind of what he should be saying to himself. So you could kind of accelerate very quickly, very easily. I don't mean idiots as a derogatory term, obviously. I don't know if it's obvious. The system was ideal for students who need more individualized support, he acknowledged. According to the Nobel Foundation, other laureates have had to overcome major academic challenges before going on to win the prestigious Nobel. The first woman to win the economics prize, Eleanor Ostrom, was turned down when she applied for a PhD in economics. Turned down.
But she
was a woman. 2009 Medicine Prize laureate Carol Grader struggled with dyslexia as a child. In 2005, Chemistry Prize winner Thomas Lindahl failed chemistry in high school. Arnold and Card both started working at a young age, which the two considered an important life experience. Yeah, work teaches you a lot of lessons. In her teens, I don't know, held odd jobs as a waitress, receptionist, and taxi driver. You appreciate more than what the university education can give you in terms of getting a job you actually might want to have for the rest of your life. It also teaches how to organize your time. Similarly, Card juggled school and farm life very early on. I don't think there was that much homework back in my schools. There was lots of time. I helped my father. I learned to drive a tractor when I was about 11. Every morning I got up at 5 a.m. and helped milk the cows. Good education there. And then I would have a shower and go to school. Both prize winners also studied subjects before discovering their respective passions. Arnold pursued studies in mechanical engineering and aeronautics before turning to chemistry. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life. I went into mechanical engineering because of the fewest requirements for engineering. And Card initially studied physics before switching to economics. Despite their unconventional paths, both ultimately found their way to brilliance. They were brilliant already. They just didn't know how to apply it. A lot of smart people don't find their calling. There's your story. I got a shorter one.
Yeah.
After this.
It is wild how we try to put people like in boxes of, obviously
right.
You were the best ever person that ever existed, and that's how you become a Nobel Prize. And they say the same thing about all sorts of positions too, right? You must have worked hard and been amazing to be a rich billionaire CEO. You must have been the smartest person ever to be president or something, and this is not true. We're all humans on different power scales, right?
Right.
Of existence, I suppose. My haiku
and everybody learns at a different pace.
Exactly. And that's why you should never measure yourself against other people, because there's people, right? For example, there's actors who didn't become famous until they're 30 or 40, right? They literally started acting in their 30s and 40s, and then they got famous just then. Let alone, and there's people who've been acting since 10, right? And they never get famous. No, they're
the Game of Thrones guy never sold a book until he was like Game of Thrones guy. He never sold a book till he's like 60, right? Something like that.
Yeah. So don't let your age stop you from getting, completing your dreams or whatever. Here's my haiku. In quiet whispers, hearts ignite with gentle truth. Nobel dreams abound. There we go. Your haiku.
Right. Next story, a shorter one, I think. Okay. Yeah, I got a story about the South African placenta stealer. This is from BBC.com. Wycliffe Muia. It's from late last week, or a couple of weeks ago. But we missed it, so here we go. South African hospital cleaner has been arrested after being found in possession of a bag of human placentas in eastern Mpumalanga province, said police. Rose Mnissi was allegedly seeking potential buyers for the human body tissue when she was picked up by security officers following a tip-off. Upon being approached by police, the woman was caught with human tissues. The woman confirmed that she is a cleaner at the maternity ward, police said in a statement. The 39-year-old woman appeared in court on Tuesday facing charges of illegal possession of human tissues. The body parts were seized and sent for forensic analysis. She has yet to respond to the charges. Police said the suspect was hitchhiking to Nelspruit area when she was arrested by officers who were conducting routine patrols in the town of Leidenburg, also known as Hishing. She was carrying an unknown number of human placentas in a plastic bag when she was picked up, according to police. The woman was charged accordingly, police said, and they could not rule out the possibility of additional charges as the investigation continues. She's expected back in court next month for a bail application. Don't you assign bail when you arrest people? The police did not say what the placentas were allegedly going to be used for, but some believe eating body tissue can boost breast milk production and even prevent postnatal depression, although there is no scientific evidence. It sounds a really dubious claim. In South Africa, some killings and mutilations have been linked to the use of human body parts in traditional rituals. Okay. Earlier this month, a Mozambican traditional healer appeared in court after he was found in possession of human body parts in the city of Tshwane. That's spelled Tshwane. Investigators linked the body parts to a brutal murder of a young woman who was killed in 2023 and her body parts removed. That's a totally unrelated story, but still grisly and disgusting. And where's your haiku?
Yeah, thanks, South Africa, for not trying to beat the allegations, I guess.
Yeah.
Hidden in shadows. Hidden in shadows, life's promise traded for gold, silent deals unfold. There you go. Black market placenta trading. There's something really weird about walking down the street with just a bag of placentas.
Yeah, it's really strange. All right, next story. Or spins the wheel.
I should spins the wheel. Why are we...
Spins the wheel.
What accent is
Holy
this?
smokes. Well, I can talk like somebody else. I can look like Walter Matthau. Or you're spin the wheel already. Just spin the wheel. Holy
it's
smokes.
Time for a bad pun.
Bad pun.
About AI. We talked yesterday about good AI, solving some of medical issues. But this AI has cost the Australian government a lot of money, so they're getting a refund. Coming from Rod McGurrick on AP News, coming out of Melbourne, Australia. Deloitte, Australia, will partially refund 440,000 Australian dollars, or $290,000, paid by the Australian government for a report that was littered with apparent AI-generated errors. As in, the AI was just making shit up. We've reported that all of the kangaroos are growing 3 heads. What the hell? Including a fabricated quote, as in something no one said anywhere, from a federal court judgment, and references to non-existent academic research. Oh, God. Listing in the trial of 2009, this judge said it's totally fine to let kangaroos grow 3 heads, and there's been academic research papers revealed in 2011 that it's a normal thing that kangaroos do every 20 years. Like that kind of... What is this AI talking about? The financial services firm reported to the Department of Employment. Ooh! So these were the employment numbers. We reported that. Everybody's fine, says the AI. Don't look over there as we steal all your jobs. Work and Workplace Revelations was originally published on the department's website in July. A revised version was published Friday, which was, what was that? The 5th, right? No, the 3rd of October. After Chris Rudge, a Sydney University researcher of health and welfare law, said he alerted the media that the report was full of fabricated references. Deloitte has reviewed the 237-page report and confirmed some footnotes and references were incorrect. So, literally, I made it up, right? Oh, where did they get this data? Footnote here. Search is the footnote. This information has never happened. Literally, I made it up. Deloitte has agreed to pay the final installment under its contract, the department said. The amount will be made public after the refund is reimbursed. Asked to comment on the report's inaccuracies, Deloitte told the Associated Press in a statement that matter has been resolved directly with the client. As in, no comment. We fucked up, and we've paid our consequences, okay? Deloitte did not respond when asked if the error was generated by AI. A tendency for generative AI systems to fabricate information is known as a hallucination. This AI has had an hallucination. No, I've never heard of that.
So kangaroos don't have 3 heads?
Wait,
what are we saying here?
Sure. The report reviewed departmental
sure?
IT systems' use of automated penalties in Australia's welfare system. So, I guess this is the idea that there's people illegally using the welfare system and getting penalized for that. And it made some stuff up.
What?
The department said the substance of the report had been maintained and there were no changes to its recommendations. So, even though the AI made some stuff up, that didn't change the conclusion that came up, as far as we know. The revised version included a disclosure that a generative AI language system, Azure OpenAI, was used in writing the report. Quotes attributed to a federal court judge were removed, as well as references to a non-existent reports are attributed to law and software engineering experts. So they quoted some judges and experts that didn't exist, but they still came up with the same conclusion. Rudge said he found up to 20 errors in the first version of the report. The first error that jumped out at him wrongly stated that Lisa Burton Crawford, a Sydney University professor of public and constitutional law, had written a non-existent book with a title suggesting it was outside her field of expertise. I wrote a book on the existence of other three-headed animals that doesn't exist.
Right.
So I'm an expert.
Yep,
and
that
I'm an
sounds
expert
accurate.
on two-headed
What's the problem
animals.
here?
I have no reason to write a book on three-headed animals because that is not my what I studied as in whatever. And I instantly knew it was either hallucinated by an AI or the world's best kept secret because I've never heard of the book and it sounded preposterous. Rudge said. Work by his academic colleagues had been used as tokens of legitimacy, as in saying, look, some guy with a PhD wrote a thing about this, so it's real. No? And that's it. The end of the don't argue about it anymore. Cited by the report's authors, but not read. So, yeah, you can cite that there's a book about this, but you don't even read the information in the book. So you just assume that it's correct. Right? Yeah, this book is about this. So, obviously, if someone wrote something about it, it's real. Adding that he considered misquoting a judge was more serious error in report that was effectively an audit of the department's legal compliance. Yeah, we followed the law, says this judge that doesn't exist. They totally misquoted a court case and made up a quotation from a judge, and I thought, well, hang on, that's actually a bit bigger than academics' egos. That's about misstating the law to Australian government in a report that they rely on. So I thought it was important to stand up for diligence, Rooch said. Senator Barbara Pocock, the Australian Green Party spokesperson on the public sector, said Deloitte should refund the entire $440,000 Australian dollars. Deloitte's misuse of AI uses very inappropriately, misquoted a judge, used references that are not existent, Pocock told Australian Broadcasting Corps. I mean, the kinds of things that a first-year university student would be in deep trouble for. Yeah. Like, hello? And this is the issue, right? I think really what should happen here is you just should not use AI for anything like this.
Nothing.
Yeah.
If you're doing research on anything, ignore AI. It's going to lie to you. You can't trust their sources. They don't have sources. Their sources are made up.
Governmental laws based off of an AI report, don't. There you go.
It's like they discourage you from using Wikipedia because anybody can edit it. This is even worse, right?
Yeah.
It's like a Wikipedia page that references another Wikipedia page for its information. Makes no sense.
Can I get a book or like a study?
That was a metaphor, right? Yes.
Someone who did research
something that
really, like maybe a
something
year.
Something that is actually a source. Yeah, not some bullshit that somebody made up that fed to you.
Something that
I'm sorry, I gotta do
crawled through the internet and said, look, I found a bunch of patterns. Here you go.
Right, yeah, that's something that happened somewhere, so it's gotta be true. All right, so your pun. I got a pun?
Yeah.
I got a pun. So all this AI is feeding all this misinformation about kangaroos. Hopefully they can bounce back from this. There you go.
Good one. It's not really about kangaroos. I was just using that as an allegory, I suppose.
Allegory. I love that word, allegory.
I was just, trying to make it easier to understand for people who don't know about Australian law. But that's my story, long as it was.
Yeah, and if you've got a three-headed kangaroo, you need to have that investigated.
No, it's normal. The AI told me it's completely fine. Oh, all the people in Australia are losing money in welfare and they aren't surviving. But the AI told us it's fine, so we're just going to continue doing that.
It's okay. It's all right. As long as you got three-headed kangaroos, we'll survive.
All right, I'm going to tell you a joke about your next story.
Tell me. All right, it's about cats. One cat in particular. This is from AP News, the oddity section of the AP News. Missing hitchhiker cat returns to Virginia store after being found in North Carolina. Francine the Calico is back home at Lowe's store in Virginia after going missing for a few weeks, hitching a ride on a truck that turned up at a sister facility in another state. Two employees from Lowe's in Richmond made the 90-minute drive early Monday to pick up Francine, who disappeared in September and recently was discovered at the company's distribution center in Garysburg, North Carolina. She's just doing her job there. She just wanted to change the scenery, that's all. She was back on the job Tuesday, playing with customers, posing for photos, and soaking in affection. Francine is one of us, store supervisor Wayne Schneider said in the telephone interview. She's just amazing. What she means here to the store and employees, you really can't imagine the outpouring of employees and also the customers give her daily. Wow, they even gave her like a blue carpet reunion in a picture here. Francine spends much of her time either at the customer service desk or at the store's seasonal area, but things went awry in September as the store brought in items from the upcoming Christmas season. Store general manager Mike Saida said the disruption may have been prompted Francine to seek comfort elsewhere. Holy shit, giant Santa Claus coming at me. Let me get out of here. After store employees hadn't seen Francine in a few days, they reviewed past surveillance video. There were glimpses of her in the appliance section and then receiving department. I love the fact that they went to all this trouble to locate a cat. That is really... That tells me something about these people. They're not just going through life going, oh, fuck, it's a cat. Anyway, where she darted into a truck. Yeah. And then the receiving department where she darted into a truck. An overnight manager is then seen shutting the truck's door, and off it went to Garysburg, about 85 miles to the south. And then, of course, she got down to the distribution center. She shot off the truck. That's when we found out she was where she was, and traps around at the distribution center, where photos of Francine were posted throughout. The center had dozens of monitoring cameras, and Lowe's brought in thermal drones to survey the area. Good for you, Lowe's. An Instagram account affiliated with Lowe's dedicated to finding Francine grew to more than 34,000 followers. On Saturday, Francine was spotted on camera near the distribution center. After more humane traps were installed, a volunteer checked each trap throughout the night. Finally, one of the traps triggering at Francine's meows could be heard. Snyder and Saida got in a car early Monday and drove to get Francine. That ride going down, knowing that we were going to get her, was just heartwarming. Knowing she's safe and that she's coming back to the store to get off her 2-week vacation, Snyder said. Francine was a stray when she started living at Lowe's store more than 8 years ago. Cats are common sightings around feed stores and garden centers, which contain large amount of grain and seed that can be attractive to mice and rats. In New York City, cats are beloved fixtures in the city's bodegas and delis. Let's not forget about Paris and all these other... Athens, for that matter, too, right? Cats everywhere. Maybe you have that there, too. I don't know. A lot of stray cats in Athens. I remember that. Yeah, we were always walking up stray cats. At the Lowe's stores, Francine just showed up, Sita said. We had a bit of a mice problem, so, of course, I'm like, wow, I like this cat because it's helping me. AP correspondent Julie Walker. Lowe's doesn't have an official policy about cats at stores. That's why Francine wasn't taken to someone's resident after showing up. Saida said she is lovely, loved by employees and the community. Cats don't need a house. They need a place to sleep. They need a little tiny place to sleep. That's all you got to provide them. They'll be fine. Cats are self-sufficient little animals. Francine picked us. We didn't pick her. Saida said later we would embrace her being our star cat, but at the end of the day, she came to us. Where she is at is where she wants to be. She does whatever she wants. Unlike Lowe's employees, Francine does not wear a vest. Sorry, why was that necessary to point out? She had been previously outfitted with several collars, but escaped them all. Now they plan on fitting her with a harness that includes identity information. She'll rip that right off. The local brewery will host a Francine Fest community event on Wednesday to celebrate the homecoming, with the stores playing its own theme party. Now, this might not be today, Wednesday. It may have been a couple weeks ago, Wednesday, because there's a little bit of an older story that we missed. But there's your story about the cat came back. And if that reminds you of that song, well, that's cool.
The cat came back. Well, that's not what my thing was. My thing was a joke. Cool. So I've got a joke. Oh, it's a joke. For you.
Okay. All right.
Why did the cat just send a text message?
Because he didn't pause long enough.
He didn't have any personal data.
A purr. I should have seen a purr. I should have seen a purr pun coming. A purr pun.
It's not that funny. I guess. The laugh track makes me laugh more than the actual joke. And you have another story.
Let's just do that for the show. No, it was my only story.
Oh, really?
And I did send you a video.
Okay. Well,
Yep,
I'm glad to
it
hear
was
that the
longer.
cat has been reunited after going on. You know,
Yep.
sometimes you just gotta get out. You gotta get out, go traveling.
Right.
Everyone should take advice from this cat about that. Let's roll
Right.
my segue for my culture news. This might be our fastest show ever. We're speeding through this real quick.
Right. Well, it's 11:30. I think we closed early yesterday too.
All
It
right.
didn't seem like it, but I think it.
Sarcasm. Or you can tell me a joke.
Ooh.
Whatever. It was right on the cusp. of both.
Sarcasm's good.
You can do both
Alright.
if you want. All right,
The
let's talk
wheel
about
keeps
my
landing
culture
on the
news,
cusp. I'm not a fan of that.
which I have a little thing here on the side to show you the pictures of. Yep. There we go. We got our... Let me get the pictures here.
Nope.
There we go. All right, this is a story coming out of Euronews Culture by David Morquand. It is about a Balkan erotic epic. Marina Abramovic turns 80 next year, and the world's most influential performance artist is not slowing down. She brings sex, ritual, and the supernatural to the UK in a provocative reenactment of Balkan erotic rites. So this is probably like things you do to make sure you have a good harvest, you know, you survive the winter, no bad weather comes to destroy your life. Balkan erotic epic starts tomorrow in Manchester. Tomorrow, of course, being the 9th of... Well, maybe this was published on the 8th? Okay, yeah, so the 9th of October. She sat in silence opposite spectators for more than 700 hours. She sat in silence opposite spectators for more than 700 hours. This is her history as a performer. She invited members of the public to do whatever they wanted to her body. You've probably heard of this. It's very famous. Using nails, matches, and even a loaded gun. She laid down inside a wooden star on fire and nearly asphyxiated. Consumed 1 kilogram of honey, followed by 1 liter of red wine before self-mutilating. Remained motionless while a huge snake slithered over her body. Screamed until she lost her voice. And recently invited visitors to squeeze through with naked models. This is the queen of Wacky and Weird. She's renowned for using her own body as a medium for her boundary-pushing work, testing the limits of mental and physical endurance, all in the name of art. Now, Marina Abramovic, world's most influential performance artist, is about to embark on her latest and largest scale performance work, a project she says outdoes all her previous work. Well, that's what happens when you're a performance art. You just have to keep pushing the limit.
That's... Yeah.
Otherwise, nobody wants to watch you. It is kind of based on that, right? Oh, that's crazy. I can't believe she's doing that. Balkan Erotic Epic opens tomorrow at Aviva Studios in Manchester, England, until the 9th of October. So you have until then to get to Manchester. Serbian artist
I'm going to run right over.
4-hour ritual brought to life by a cast of over 70 performers, including singers, dancers, and musicians. Balkan Erotic Epic explores the eroticism, spirituality, and traditions of her homeland. It has scenes which include women showing their vaginas, scaring the gods to stop the rain, a real Balkan rite. Okay, I don't think she's making this stuff up. These are real things people would do in the Balkans to, appease the gods. It's raining too much. Our village is flooding. Using their chests to awaken the earth at burial sites, massaging the breasts, and 16-foot projections of penises, magic potions. In our culture today, we label anything erotic as pornography, Abramovic says in a press statement. I agree. It is a problem. Balkan Erotic Epic is the most ambitious work in my career. This gives me a chance to go back to my Slavic roots and culture, look back to ancient rituals, and deal with sexuality in relations to the universe, the unanswered questions of our existence. She adds, through this project, I would like to show poetry, desperation, pain, hope, suffering, and reflect on our own mortality. The audience is free to wander around at will, hopefully coming closer to answering the question, what are our bodies truly for? Are we just objects of sex? This first image we have here is dancer Mariana.
Kind of the same as every animal, but yeah.
The scaring the gods to stop the rain from Marina Abramovic's Balkan erotic epic. Sorry, no no vagina shots here. I'm sure we would get banned off the internet for seeing that. Sadly,
Most people wouldn't know what they're looking at.
yeah, they're, oh, what is that?
You take a picture of Donald Trump's neck, you get
But
a
it's
vagina
just
shot.
for anyone who's, I don't know, listening audio. It's just a woman spinning in like a traditional Balkan outfit, you know, like one of those long skirts with the aprons on front, you know, in motion. Our next image from the installation, I guess we can call it, is knife dance from the Balkan erotic epic. So dancing with some, I guess, I don't know if these are real knives. They might be, but they don't look real. Or they're I think they look like they're made out of cardboard. And then our next image is people laying with skeletons. And it's called the rehearsals of orgy, but it's women having orgies with skeletons. So they're having sex with skeletons on the floor. And finally, oh no, not finally, there's 4 more, 5 more. There's a lot of images. 5 more images. Let me count. Then we have rehearsals for the orgy, the same rite. And this one have just showing all of these skeletons on the, what are these called? Tombstones. This is very spooky for October. Skeletons. We've got Tiger Blaze, Rowan Scotchberger, and Blanard Aziz, Billy Zhao, and Marina Ambromik, I think discussing probably the show. You know, and the rehearsals and what they're going to do for every rite to make sure it's exactly what they want. Then another photo is from Tito's funeral from the epic. A bunch of older Balkan women probably singing to Tito. You know, if anybody doesn't know who Tito is, he was the dictator of Yugoslavia.
Yep. He came up with the Yugo.
Putin. He had a famous blue train.
Yeah.
Lots of weird shit he did. And he failed completely at keeping...
Yeah, Tito was a fascist.
He was trailed around on a blue train when he died. You know, similar to how like Queen Elizabeth was and stuff. There's another photo here.
He wasn't one of the Jackson 5.
From the same funeral. You know, a bunch of people praying to his dead body, laying on some planks.
Yeah,
and
he's
then
also in the
finally
Jackson
the banner
5.
image, which is why I clicked on this story. Because I'm easy to sell. Which is the holding their breasts for the rite. Women massaging their breasts. Why are they doing that? I don't know. I guess you have to go see the show. So I just wanted to share those images because I haven't done that in a while. New performance work offers an unmissable opportunity for audiences to experience the next chapter of Ambrovic's creative life. Bold, immersive, and on a scale that's truly unprecedented, said John McGrath, artist, director, and chief executive at Factory International. So there's his review, I guess, on the epic.
Okay,
I think they've probably seen the rehearsals before they've actually shown it at the erotic
really
at the Aviva Studios in Manchester, which you can see tomorrow until the 19th. And you can talk to her on the 11th October. She'll have like a little talk and ask questions probably. And what do you mean by this? And what does it mean? And explain everything to me like I'm a child. It's so confusing. So check that out. There's your weird and wacky, Marina Abramovic's
That's sarcasm,
newest thing.
Okay. Yeah, I remember the old days when we packed the kids in the car. We all go out and see a nice masochist show. Boy, I miss those days.
Though I don't think this one's very masochist. It's just erotic, really.
Nah, it sounds masochistic.
Having an orgy on stage, I suppose.
Pierce her with things and shoot guns at her and stuff or something like that.
No, this show isn't anything about that.
Oh, that's what you started with, so that's what I went with.
That's what she's previously been known for.
Yeah. Okay, so 1809 in this day in history.
I need to roll the segue wheel.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Getting ahead of myself. I'm out ahead of my skis, as the metaphor said.
There you go. Following your own metaphor.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. It's going to be alliteration headline.
Wow. Well, hopefully just maybe you'll do 3 again. I know you like to do 3 or 10. 1809 in this day in history, from according to Britannica, who is still editing their page because it has stuff like, it's still posting stuff and like things aren't matching up. Like there's a 1809 and it's over a guy's name.
Maybe you need to
the guy's name is Clemens. Yeah. Clemens von Metternich was named foreign minister of Austria in this day in 1809. He revived the country's standing in European affairs, and his organization of the Congress of Vienna maintained a balance of power in Europe. And of course, Vienna, Austria, traditionally now just a neutral state. Like ever since World War II, we're neutral. We don't take sides. 1856 in Canton, Guangzhou, which is a Chinese name for it, I guess. Chinese officials boarded a British registered ship, the Arrow, arrested several Chinese crew members who were later released, and allegedly lowered the British flag. The event contributed to the start of the Second Opium War, in which Britain and France battled China. God damn it, shut up and smoke your opium.
And let us conquer you peacefully while you're all high.
God damn it. Opium Wars. That's right. We got you hooked and we're going to just keep you hooked.
That's what
1871
historians attribute to it. Like the reason they did that is so that they could conquer China.
Well, and I did send you a video, by the way. I don't know if you got it, but I did send you one. In 1871, the city of Peshtigo, Wisconsin, burned to the ground in hours, killing 1,152 people. And a lot of people, it was really hot. It was a very dry autumn, and my theory is a meteorite hit. But a lot of people jumped into the water to escape the fire, and the water got so hot they boiled to death. That's how hot it was.
Really? Oh, God.
Yeah, it was really awful. I know.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I know, right? It was hot as the sun, I think some people said it was. So that occurred very close to where I grew up. It's not that far. It's like between Green Bay and where I grew up. So yeah, a lot of that forest burned to the ground. A lot of logs that were just being kept at a logging camp burned because they were dry.
There's a lot of logging up there.
And the very same day the Chicago fire happened, so we'll cover that in a minute. 1895, Argentine politician Juan Perón served as the president of Argentina. Don't cry for me, Argentina. It was his birthday. And we know Evita Perón. If you don't know it, she's the one who was that Madonna musical, Evita, right? 1918, Corporal Alvin York single-handedly captured 132 Germans and killed another 25 during the Mouse Argonne offensive of World War I. If you don't know Sergeant York he was a corporal at the time. Sergeant York, one of your famous war heroes, and immortalized by Gary Cooper in the movie, where he's a pacifist who can shoot the eye out of whatever has an eye. Anyway, very good marksman. 1957.
You shoot an eye out of your skull, basically, from a distance.
Right, yeah. And again,
has an eye.
Captured 132 Germans single-handedly.
Woo! We love.
That's a little bit of bravery there. Just a little bit of bravery. Tiny bit of bravery. 1957, an accident at the Windscale nuclear facility, and I never heard of this one, but it's nice to know, in northwestern England caused a fire that burned for 16 hours and left 10 tons of radioactive fuel melted in the reactor core. Never heard this, but if any of your mutations happened, we're talking about mutations where people, there could be aliens, right? Maybe it's just nuclear mutations that have been happening ever since we've been doing this crap.
Maybe.
That to me, that's more of a possibility than anything. 1967, a prominent communist figure
in left a sizable amount of radioactive iodine in the atmosphere, and the sale of milk produced in the 500 square kilometers or 200 square miles around the area was banned, so you couldn't sell any.
Oh, the whole 500 miles! Wow, yeah. I feel safe now. Again, there's no science behind that ban, by the way. It could have been 1,000 miles. I don't know. In 1967, a prominent communist figure you all know and heard of, Che Guevara, was captured by the Bolivian army and later shot to death. And I actually met the person who was in that firing squad. Believe it or not, in my life, I met a guy named Mickey when I was in Colombia. He was our driver, and he actually knew my old boss, Billy Kaysen, from Special Forces days. And he said, yeah, I was in the Bolivian Special Forces, and I was in the firing squad that shot Che Guevara. And then he pulls out a black and white picture of him posing with a dead Che Guevara. And I was like, you can't fake that.
At least not now you can, but back then you couldn't. Yeah.
Not on a photograph. It wasn't on the internet. It wasn't like photoshopped.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Black and white
then
photo.
You
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Now
It's really
I
hard to
could
fake
literally
that. And
put
if you
myself
look,
in the photo.
true, but there's legitimate photos out there. This is the year about 2012 or something like that. I don't think that. Either way, I talked to my former boss later and I said, "Hey, guess who I went into in Colombia?" And I gave him his name. Oh, Mickey, he's a fuck up. That's what he said. And I said, "Yeah, he is a fuck up. He forgot to pick us up one morning. We had to take a cab to the freaking Oh, nobody speaks English in Colombia, by the way." In 1970, Alexander Solzhenitsyn was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. We're going to get a lot of Nobel Prize announcement. Alexander Solzhenitsyn was, of course, a Soviet citizen who spent a good deal of time in prison, but eventually got released. 1982, the Polish legislature dissolved the trade union Solidarity. Well, that went over big, which subsequently became an underground organization that played a key role in the ending communist rule in Poland, with its various leaders notably Lech Walesa, who later holding important government posts. Lech Walesa became the president of Poland and was one of the most instrumental people in the collapse of the Soviet Union. We don't have to listen to your shit. We don't fucking have to listen to your shit, basically, is what they said. 2001, in Italy's worst civilian air disaster in nearly 30 years, a Cessna took a wrong turn in the taxiway at Linate Airport in Milan and crashed into an SAS jetliner about to take off, which exploded, killing 118 people, including 4 airport workers. Terrible disaster in this day. 2004, American domestic lifestyle innovator Martha Stewart went to federal prison in West Virginia to begin her 5-month sentence for insider trading. One of the few people ever sentenced to prison for insider trading, and it was done only because they could make some headlines over it. And that's about all the reason they did it, because you see bankers do this shit and they never get punished. In fact, members of Congress are doing it to this day, insider trading. None of them are going to prison. None of them. They're not even going to get charged. Nobody's ever even going to find out about it. In 2005, killing at least 79,000 people, an earthquake struck at Pakistan administered portion of the Kashmir region in the northwest frontier province of Pakistan. It does not say how big the earthquake was. I expect more information than that, but it killed a lot of people. It had to be big. Our featured event is another fire, as I referenced earlier, the Great Chicago Fire. On this day in 1871, the Great Chicago Fire began in the barn, which is totally fictitious. It says it began in the barn of Patrick and Catherine O'Leary, but they were the scapegoats. I don't think that's what happened. By the time the blaze died out 2 days later, a large swath of the city had been devastated and 300 people killed. Started the exact same time as the Peshtigo fire, and people have said it was probably a meteorite over the years. That's the theory I'm going with. They did blame it on a cow kicking over a lantern in Mrs. O'Leary's barn, is what they did. So,
oh, yeah.
I don't know how you punish a cow. Of
course, it was some Irishman. Damn Irish people.
Oh, yeah, it was Irish. Sure.
Remember, people used to be second class, third class citizens.
Yeah, my little story about the Chicago fire. Also, my other story is you know how Chicago was built? They wiped out the entirety of the frickin' Wisconsin forest to build Chicago, and then they burned to the ground. And you know what they did next? They used all of Wisconsin's iron ore to rebuild Chicago. So that's your little history of Chicago being built by shit from Wisconsin. Yeah.
Chicago.
Illinois doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Chicago. Yeah, Chicago just took all of our resources to build their city. Our featured birthday, a biography today, Jesse Jackson. Happy birthday to Jesse Jackson. He's still around. He's 84. Happy birthday. Born October 8th, 1941 in Greenville, South Carolina. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive is Jesse Jackson's mantra. A 1920s, the birthday of Frank Herbert, the guy who wrote Dune. If that's how you pronounce his name. I don't know if it's Herbert. Might be. Is it Herbert or Herbert? Heber. You don't know either. Okay, 1941, Jesse Jackson. We also covered that. 1943 is the birthday of American author R.L. Stine. 1960, Reed Hastings, American entrepreneur. It's Matt Damon's birthday. If you like apples, you like Matt Damon. And how do you like them apples? It's National Day. Matt Damon turning 55 today. Happy birthday. Our distant cousin, by the way, Matt Damon. Distant cousin. National Nurses Day today, second Wednesday in October. It's National Stop Bullying Day. Yep. Punch the bully right in the nose. As Mike Tyson says, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. National Take Your Parents to Lunch Day. Still waiting. Getting beer and lunchtime. National Bring Your Teddy Bear to Work Day. I can totally get behind that. Yeah, make people talk about you by taking their teddy bear to work. Make them, oh, he's a psych evaluation. He's losing his mind. He brought a teddy bear. It's National Pierogi Day. Those delicious snacks. National Hero Day, which we're all a hero to some extent, just for getting up every day, I think. National Curves Day. If you're celebrating people, I guess it's plus-sized people. Yeah. Enough of you people with your straight, non-curved bodies. People. Get real already. Get real. Get some curves. There's a couple of dudes in this picture, too. So, yeah, dudes definitely got curves. American Touch Tag Day. Ooh, time to play tag. You're it. It's also National Fluffernutter Day. Fluffernutter. It's something to do with marshmallows and peanut butter, I believe, and sounds really decadent. So there's your days for October 8th. Your mispronunciation, your haikus, your technical glitches, your insanity, your arguments, everything for October 8th, 2025 on Before Fluffernutter and Pierogies.
Fluffernutter.
I think of the two, I will have a pierogi.
Another weird thing Americans eat, just like peanut butter and jelly, that the rest of the world is like, sugar. The fuck is this?
Just eat a bag of sugar. Just go ahead and just eat a bag of sugar. They're the same thing.
I've got 3 alliterations for you. First one, all right. Jesse Jackson's Jazzy Journey jingles with joyful justice. Flames fiercely flickered, fueling fear in fateful fires.
Oh.
And pierogi party, pleasing palates. A pierogi. I love things with stuff inside of them, like pierogies and ravioli and
right on.
Tamales and burritos. You know, just there's something in here.
I almost forgot Rocktober, so I'm gonna have to interject. Okay, I got 2 Rocktober things today.
Okay.
In 1988, on this day in 1988, Pink Floyd's album Dark Side of the Moon finally left Billboard's Hot 200 album chart after a record-breaking 741 weeks on the album chart. It entered in 1973 on the Billboard charts. It didn't leave for 15 years. That is amazing. And also on this date, David Bowie. David Bowie played his first in 1969, played the first of his 10-date tour supporting Humble Pie at Coventry Theatre in Coventry, England, fronted by former Small Faces singer Steve Marriott and featuring Bowie's old school friend Peter Frampton. Frampton's father, Owen, taught art at Beckingham Technical School, where Bowie was a pupil. Yep. And another of his pupils was George Underwood, who became a painter and designed 3 David Bowie album covers: Space Oddity, Hunky Dory, and Ziggy Stardust. So the Peter Frampton's dad, responsible for a good deal of pop culture. Quite fascinating, right? Anyway. Peter Frampton's dad, responsible for Peter Frampton, responsible for David Bowie, responsible for the artist George Underwood. That's amazing. Because what did he do? He let David Bowie play his guitar in class. He didn't care. He's 3 years of being David Bowie's art teacher. You're an artist. Play your guitar. Who cares? Cool guy. Hippies can't survive without adults that are compliant, right?
Yeah. This is true.
All right, so there's your this day in Rocktober.
Thank you. All right, fun.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this has been Allison here from the Netherlands. There's no international days today. There is still International World Space Week. So keep celebrating space and looking up into the sky and get your telescope out. You know,
Keep your
trace
feet on the ground.
stars as they move. And we will see you tomorrow for Thursday's 13. I don't know if we have a Thursday's 13 list planned out yet.
Not yet.
But make sure you're following and subscribed and you have those notifications on so you can get notified when we go live with this Thursday's 13 list that we're going to draw up for tomorrow.
Thought you were going to channel Casey Kasem there for a minute.
On Patreon for as little as $1 a month or €1, whatever currency you have. So check that out as well in the description of this video. And let's go to our mic drop moment, our hot, very hot mic drop moment.
Well, wildfires this year have destroyed hundreds of thousands.
But this is
of
like
hundreds of homes,
after the fact kind of
more than
thing.
20 people. They actually still don't
there was no
care
cameras available to take pictures of the fire.
In 1871, Wisconsin's Peshtigo.
Cameras weren't invented, but
1871.
1871.
Bob Martin has the story.
Cameras were around, but there's no pictures. They probably burned up anyway.
In 1871,
here we go. They got the old-timey music.
Surrounding the bay north of Green Bay were
I love it.
Sawmills. Loggers were harvesting.
Oh, they do have some pictures of it.
Thousands of immigrants.
Oh yeah, pictures of the town, but not of the fire. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
Tom, can you take a picture of me on the tracks? All right, stand there for 20 minutes.
You could get a job almost immediately.
Other trees and brush that interfered with logging or clearing farmland.
So these are the woods that burned down a little less than 100 years ago.
Caused problems.
I went to the extent of looking for meteorites in my land, right? That may have hit at the same time.
The night of October 8th, after months of drought, a deep low-pressure system spawned hurricane-velocity winds throughout the region. Small blazes exploded and merged into one enormous firestorm. It surrounded Peshtigo.
The nation, the Earth doesn't care about you.
The noise was immense. It was like numbing. Unbelievable. I think that was it.
There was just nobody around. I mean, it was wilderness. Wisconsin was all wilderness at the time. There was no real cities.
And there was nowhere to go.
There were probably 4 cities in the whole state. Peshtigo was probably one of them, right?
People get boiled to death. You're on your boat. You're the only one with a rowboat.
Survivors would tell
Oh, there's just smoke in the air too. There's no air to breathe.
I mean, you probably had to.
And buildings
probably a lot of people suffocated.
In Peshtigo, scores of those who were trapped by the rapidly advancing flames.
Oh, this is the boiling lake. They should have renamed it to that.
They had to fight domestic animals, wild animals.
The river was boiling, not the lake. Yeah, I suppose. The Peshtigo River.
Really, people.
Which flows into the Fox
actually wouldn't
River.
get in the river, and they burned at the river's edge.
That might float in the Green Bay, actually.
The bodies of 800 people, almost half the population of Peshtigo.
Oh, this is the aftermath, I guess.
In one night, what residents described as swirling fire tornadoes had burned more than a dozen
images
towns.
Of people with burns.
In Williamsonville,
the thing with extreme burns is you die from the infection later, so you can survive the boiling.
Some reportedly took their own lives.
Yeah, and you're going to shock too.
Tornado Park now memorializes the fire tornado's victims. Experts say the full death toll across the region was probably about 2,500. Today, a small museum in Peshtigo houses...
Oh, they got a museum for it.
The official death toll was 1,500, but there was probably more than that because they couldn't find bodies.
350 victims who were never
I guess you just have to say who's missing.
All of the original white pines in the area were...
So,
anybody you don't know, not here?
There is only
one
in the
list.
154 years ago today.
The wife of a lumber baron had
the kind of shit that can just happen with fires.
As a place of reflection.
Fires don't care.
Bob Martin, KRQE News 13, near Peshtigo, Wisconsin.
But look at these trees. They've come back.
The Peshtigo fire is sometimes called the...
It was 150 years ago.
Because on the same night,
yeah, but it takes a while for trees to grow.
The city of Chicago burned down.
Because actually, pine trees their seeds are released by forest fires. So.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and